Welcome everyone. I'm Kimberly Fulmer from Listen, Learn, and Grow. We're going to learn today about Excel and Office programs. In session 1 we're going to go over starting programs, using the ribbon, contextual tools, working with files, getting some help, and printing a file and exiting the program. We're going to start Office programs. We're going to open an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to open a Word document. We're going to teach you how to switch between files, resize a workspace, getting information from the status bar, switching views from page view, page break view, zoom controls, and we're going to learn about using the ribbon. We're going to go over some page setup, dialog box, and some quick tips. We're going to insert a table on a Word document, and we're going to talk about the design and layout tab for the table. We're going to go over the mini toolbar and open shortcut menus. We're going to save a file, close a file, and open an existing file. And finally, we're going to get some help, view screen tips using the help window, and we're going to talk about printing and exiting. To open Office programs, I'm going to start by telling you that I'm running Office 365 and I'm using Windows 10 as my operating system. To open the Office programs, we're going to go to the Start menu, and we're going to scroll down to My Office Programs. Too far. And click on My Office. And I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Publisher. I would click on Excel or Word. The other option is to go down to my taskbar, which I already have my Excel and Word pinned to. For this one, I'm going to just open up Excel. Click on Excel. And as you can see, it will open up your recent documents, and it will open up any kind of template that you wish to look at and you can modify. We're going to open a blank workbook. Now, to open Word, you can go the same route to your Start menu. I'm going to just go to my taskbar and click on Word, and it will open a Word document. And it also gives you recent files, and it gives you templates that you can modify, but we're going to open a blank document. So now we have both Excel and Word opened up on our computers. To switch between the files, you can click on the Excel and it will go back to the Excel program, or click on Word and it will go back to the Word program. You can also minimize the Word, and it will minimize it to the bottom of your screen, and minimize your Excel, and it will bring it down to the bottom of your screen and display your desktop. You can open them back up by clicking on them, and it will bring it back up. Along with the minimizing button, you also have a resizing button where you can make that smaller so you can see some of your information on your desktop, make it bigger again, and it's the same in the Word document. You can minimize it and make it bigger. And when you minimize, you can also make your arrows on the side and make it smaller if you want, or make it bigger. If you click, it will automatically go to the full size of your screen. We are going to also talk about your status bar. Down here at the bottom you'll see your status bar, and it's telling you you're on page 1 of 1. You have 0 words. That's on Word. Now switch to Excel, and your status bar shows that you are ready. And the status bar goes along the bottom, and it also has your zoom buttons to where you can use the plus and minus signs. Plus makes it bigger, minus makes it smaller. You can also grab the bar and drag it and make it bigger and smaller. going to make it back close to 100%. Now here are your view bars. You have your shortcut menu pops up where it tells you what view you're in. Because it's highlighted, it'll say normal. The next one over is your page layout, and then your page break preview. You go to your page layout and it will change the way it is set up to be printed. This is how it would look. Go back to normal view, and on Word you have your status bar, and it has the same zooming features, zoom up and down, and it also has a read mode where it will show you what it's going to look like if you were reading the document, and then your print layout, which is the normal view that you have. And this one here is your web layout. Go back to Excel, and up at the top, if you'll notice, the title of the page is Book 1 in Excel. That is a default title. Once you save the document title will change. And to your left you have your quick access toolbar, and the quick access toolbar has features like save, undo, redo. If you notice, it's not highlighted because you can't redo anything at this point. You haven't done anything to the spreadsheet. And there's other things that you can put on your shortcut quick access toolbar. You hit the arrow and you can tick on any one of these to add them. Let's put a spell check on the quick access toolbar, and you notice it shows up. You can remove these also just simply by going to the arrow and unchecking them, and they will go away. This is your ribbon. All across the top is your ribbon, and each ribbon has tabs, and each tab has a different ribbon. All of them are shortcuts to things that you can do in Excel, and it is the same for Word. Let's show you. You have your ribbon, and you can change the tabs to change the ribbon. To hide the ribbon, you can double click a tab and the ribbon will go away so that you can access more of your writing area. And to get the ribbon back, simply double click the tab again, and that works the same in Excel. Double click a tab and the ribbon goes away. Double click it again, it comes back. And to exit a program, you simply want to X out. If you've done any work to the program or to each Excel spreadsheet or Word document, then it will ask you to save. Generally, if you don't have any work on the spreadsheet, it won't ask you to save. So if you X out, you're going to lose anything that you thought you might have done. These are your columns, A, B, C. Those are all columns. And then your 1, 2, 3 is rows in Excel. And if you notice that when you hover over anything, it will tell you, it'll give you a quick tip on what it means. It's a highlighter in yellow, 6 millimeter. This one is a red 0.5 millimeters. If you go to another tab and hover over pictures, it's saying from a file, insert a picture from your computer or from other computers that you've connected to. It gives you quick tips whenever you hover over what you're looking at. Now let's switch to Word. And in Word, we're going to insert a table. And inserting a table, you can simply highlight how many you want, or you can simply go to Insert Table and tell it you want 7 columns, which go across the page, and 4 rows. And click OK, and it automatically puts in the table for you. If you notice that this is a contextual tool, and this also brings up table tools with design and layout so that you can change the design of the table, and it will give you an example of what the table is going to look like as you hover over it, so that you can have different colors, or you can leave it where it is normal, just the squares, blank white squares. You can change the shading, the borders, all of this on your design tab. And then if you click to the layout tab, it will give you even more on your ribbon that you can change. You can change the height and width of each column. You can distribute your rows evenly, distribute your columns evenly. You can change text direction. There's just many things that you can do, and if you have questions about them, you can hover over them and it will give you a quick tip on what that does. Now we're going to talk about saving and opening files. Now if you notice in the Word document, it says it's document 1 Word, so it tells you what program you're working in. If you wanted to save this, you could go to File and click Save As. If you click Save, it's going to save it as document 1 in a Word format. Save As, and it will bring up your locations. You can click Browse and it'll bring up your file folders, and we're just going to click all the way to the top. We're going to go to our desktop. We're just going to put this on our desktop, and we're just going to call it Example, and it's going to be saved in a Word document file. You can change it to anything you want it to be. And a lot of times in Word you'll change it to PDF, which means that it cannot be edited again. So if you save it as a PDF, it is just for reading only. Today we're just going to save it as a Word document, and we're going to call it Example and put it on our desktop. And just click Save, and the document is saved, and as you see, the title of the Word document has changed. So let's close that out. And now we're going to save an Excel file, and we're going to call this an example as well. Now we're going to go to File and Save As. We're going to browse, and we're going to save it on the desktop just like the other one, and go to Desktop, and we're going to call this one Example. And with Excel, you can also save it as all kinds of different things. And you can even save this as a PDF. But we're going to save it as an Excel workbook. And we're going to click Save. And then we are going to exit. Now, to open a file, you see that the example in Excel shows up on my desktop, and the example in Word shows up at my desktop. And the reason I can have two files the same name is because one is Word and one is Excel. To open them, I can simply go to that desktop and click on it and it will open. But I can also click on my shortcut menu on my taskbar, open Excel, and my recent documents, it'll allow me to open Example. And I can do the same with Word. Click on my shortcut menu. You can also go through the Office tab and open through the Office tab as well. Here's your recent document, Example, and it opens up. You can also access your files, your File Explorer, and you can go to your desktop and find your file Example on your desktop. You have your example for Excel and your example for Word, and you can double click those and they will open as easily. Okay, now let's switch to Excel, and to get help in Excel you can just click on the tab, tell me what you want to do, and it will bring up a search menu. Let's type in freeze, and you see below it comes get help on freeze, and it will lead you to more help options. Excel not responding, hangs, freezes, or stops working. You can look at videos on how to freeze the top left panes. And if you want, you can continue with a smart lookup on freeze, and it just gives you hover over it and it'll tell you learn more about text. You select by seeing definitions, images, or results from various online sources. But your help is all up here next to the little light bulb. Now with Word, you have the same option. You want to tell it what you want it to do. You want to print, and it will give you options, and you can actually look and it'll bring you right to it. Click on it and it'll bring you right to the print option. Anytime you're in a print screen and you want to go back, you simply hit this arrow and it'll bring you back to your document. Okay, now let's talk about printing an item. Okay, let's go to File. This is how you print, and you're going to go to your print option. Your print option will have a number of copies you wanted, and obviously the print button. This is your preview. If you think that's the way you want it to be printed, then you simply click Print, and it will print all pages. You can change that to specific pages, just the current page. You can print one-sided or manually print on both sides, depending on what printer type you have. You can print how it's printed, whether you want it printed all, page 1 printed all in one group and then page 2, or if you want it printed 1, 2, 3 and then 1, 2, 3 if you're doing multiple copies. Of course, your portrait and landscape orientation, the size paper that you want to use, so you can change your number of margins so that you can make it bigger or smaller, and pages per sheet. You can change it to where it will print 8 pages on one sheet, 16 on one sheet, or a scale to fit it for one size. And that is in Word. Let's switch to Excel and show you that they have the same options. In the print section, you have the same options as you would with Word. But if you notice the preview, there's nothing to preview because you haven't done anything to the actual workbook. You can also go into page setup, and it will go over your margins, your header and footer, and your sheet. And you can put your header and footer in here, and it customize your header. You can change it to where it's just page 1 or page 1 of something, and then you can put confidential. There's all kinds of ways you can set your footer and header up. And your sheet, you can decide in Excel whether you want to print your grid lines, whether you want it to be black and white. Most people use this to set their landscape or portrait. You can decide your paper size here. There's just a number of options that you can do. And of course, fitting one page, or fitting everything on one page. You can also, let's go back to the page setup and show you on margins. If you want to print it, center it on the page horizontally or vertically, it literally will show you. If you click horizontally, it moves the work that you have centered horizontally, and vertically it'll move it to the center of the page as it prints. And now back to our Excel spreadsheet. And the final thing we want to talk about is exiting Excel. You can exit Excel simply by hitting the X in the corner, and it goes away. And the same with Word. And I'm going to make a few changes to this document just so that it asks me a question. I'm going to X out, And it will ask you if you've made any changes since the last time the document was saved. It will ask you if you want to save your changes to Excel. I don't necessarily want to, but you would simply save it if you wanted to keep it, and it would be saved under the title Example. At this time I'm going to click Don't Save, but if you realize that you didn't want to change something and you wanted to go back and double check, you hit Cancel, and it goes back to the document without changing anything or saving anything. Simply X out. I'm going to say Don't Save. That should be the end of our tutorial for today. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed learning. Please provide feedback on the sessions. Contact me with any questions. Visit my website for more insights to business solutions, and if you want to learn more, visit my classroom. Thank you. This is Kim signing off.